Welcome back to Chapter. Today we're going over Part 1, Chapter 2 of George Orwell's 1984. First, we'll start with the plot of this chapter. The person knocking on Winston's door is his neighbor, Mrs. Parsons. She needs to have her sink fixed since her husband Tom is not in the house at the time. So we also meet the Parson children. They are both part of the Youth League and of the Spies, which we don't know much about either right now, but we do know that those two groups promote party doctrine. They also promote loyalty to Big Brother over everything, including family. Winston also expresses distaste for Tom Parsons, the patriarch of the Parsons family. He calls his loyalty to the party unquestioning and refers to him as a devoted drudge. He also expresses a distaste for the Parson children and of children in general, since he thinks that they're dangerous and that it's not unusual for people over the age of 30 in this society to be fearful of children. The Parson children are upset that they're going to miss the public hangings. Winston fears for the safety of Mrs. Parsons, since she will soon be under the unwavering scrutiny of her own children, who will be likely to report her or her husband to the thought police as thought criminals. Winston also recalls a dream he has of O'Brien, where O'Brien says to him, "We shall meet in the place where there is no darkness." We learn that the principles of Ingsoc are newspeak, doublethink, and the mutability of the past. We also learn that Big Brother watches you from coins and postage stamps. Winston grapples with the fact that no matter what act of rebellion he commits, it's going to be erased in this society, since thought crime is death, and nothing that he does will survive himself. But he does find his audience, which is free people who don't live under the principles of Big Brother, the party, and Ingsoc. Next, we'll cover setting. This chapter takes place in Victory Mansions, in either Winston's apartment or in the Parsons' apartment. The Parsons' apartment is larger than Winston's, but seems to be in a worse state of disrepair. Now for the new characters we met in this chapter. Mrs. Parsons is timid and fearful of her own children. Tom is a mindless member of the party since childhood, as a member of the Spies and the Youth League, well past when it was okay to be in those still. He also works with Winston. The Parsons children, quite frankly, are awful. They're part of the Spies and the Youth League, so they're upstanding citizens in their society, but they're liable to turn in their own family as thought criminals to the thought police. Now we'll go over the major themes of this chapter. The first theme is hope. Winston finds his audience for his diary that he's writing, and it gives him hope that in some way he'll be able to make a difference and help end the oppression of the party. The second theme is again oppression. Rations of chocolate are being cut even after a great victory against Eurasia, which doesn't sound like something that would happen if it's leading towards the end of the war. Even the repair process in Victory Mansions is a symbol of oppression. If you can't fix it yourself, you have to go through a ton of bureaucracy to get a repair done. And that repair service has to ensure that that repair will last for 2 years. And that doesn't happen often because apparently they're really shoddy at repairing things, so if it's not done yourself, it's not going to get done. Another example of oppression is the fact that Mrs. Parsons is afraid of her own children. The fact that her children are being raised to be conscious of everything that their parents are doing and scrutinize their every move and action is an example of oppression. She can't even be herself in the comfort of her own home. The last theme that's introduced is the mutability of the past, and this means that the past can apparently be changed at any time. It also means that the past has been changed in this society, which is terrifying. And lastly, the motif of this chapter is dreams. Not dreams like, oh, I dream of being a writer, or I dream of being an English teacher. The actual dreams where you fall asleep and you dream. Winston finds courage and hope in his dream about O'Brien, that one day there'll be a place where there's no darkness, no shadow of oppression of the party, where he'll be free to express his own thought and not have to be afraid. So that's been Part 1, Chapter 2 of George Orwell's 1984. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next chapter. Bye!